What's up, guys? This is OmegaLiar, and I am happy to be saying that this is my first Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay. This is a ground war domination using the MP7 and secondary 5.7. Now, this is my first gameplay, this is actually the first game with custom classes I got to play, and I think it was actually a pretty entertaining game. The game, before I get into the overview, let me just talk about the class setup and some of the stuff about this. From what I've experienced so far, and I have a pretty small amount of experience with this game, but I can say nothing seems to stick out as overpowered. I could have told you before the game came out that the Type 95 was going to be overpowered, and had I seen the recoil, I could have told you that the ACR is overpowered. But in this game, it seems that they've toned that down. Most of the guns have fairly moderate recoil, nothing too ridiculous like the CM901, and as far as range goes, the submachine guns are in their place. They oftentimes fall to 5 or 6 shot kills at distance, and up close they're in between 3 and 4 shots. So it really just depends. But on top of that, there's important stuff, because in Domination they've made some very, very significant changes. No longer is any map unbalanced if you spawn on one side, because no matter what, you will get to spawn on either side of the map, and that is fantastic. That means that every single map in the game is balanced no matter what. Because even if one side isn't balanced, both teams have a chance to take advantage of that position. So, Domination is amazing, and I love it. And there's a lot of things I love about this game. But let me talk about my perks real quick. And you've seen the class in the upper right hand corner. But I'm using, first off, Hardline, which I think is a great perk overall. And I don't have too many of the first tier perks. I only have about 4 of them. But from what I've read, this one seems to be the most useful, because this allows you to get your kill streaks faster. Or rather, point streaks now, I guess it is. And that has lasting benefit. It means you can get more UAVs out. It means you can get more, really whatever you're trying to get out. And that helps out your team, and that helps out yourself, because Hardline also just gives you more points in general. And if you, let's say, call in a UAV, you get what's called UAV assist, which means if anyone on your team gets a kill on someone on the other team who is not using whatever ghost perk there is, assuming that they're not moving, assuming that they're not moving around or something like that, as long as they're on the map, you get an assist, and that helps you build streaks. Now, the other thing to keep in mind about UAVs is there's no longer a really long, annoying, choppy animation of pulling out this stupid, like, almost phone type thing. You just click it on your wrist and you're done. It's not a hassle, so it's actually a really great thing to run. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of it. And I'm really happy that the ghost perk doesn't make you invisible all the time, because otherwise UAVs would be practically useless, and that would ruin a lot of things. But right now, it's totally great, and it helps out a lot, and I would suggest it. My second one is toughness, which is essentially flinch, and I'm sure you can figure out what that does. You recoil less when you get hit. General and useful in general, and there's some other competing perks there, but none that I've unlocked yet. And now dexterity, which is actually an awesome perk, and I really love it. I've been using it a lot. I haven't gotten myself to get rid of it yet, because what it does is it makes you pull up faster from sprint. So what it would be the pro variation of Steady Aim Pro in Black Ops or in Modern Warfare 3. So it's just got that useful benefit in general. But on top of that, it makes you climb everything faster, including ladders. You climb ladders very, very quickly, which is something that nothing could do in any of the other Call of Duties. So it's definitely something to give a shot. You will have a significantly noticeable difference in speed on how quickly you climb things and how quickly you pull out from sprint. It's very, very useful, and I would definitely suggest it. Now I'm using frag grenades. Same thing there. They don't go nearly as far, which is awesome. So throwing them it's going to be more of a close range thing. And then I have concussion ×2, which I actually haven't been using, because I've never been a big fan of special grenades. I don't use them that often. So I would much rather get rid of them and have 2 extra points in my slot to effectively do what I need to do. Because then you can have extra attachments and you can have extra perks, and it all works out. But anyway, let me get into the overview. And for those of you who followed that note in the beginning and skipped to this part, which is about 5 minutes into the video, you're wondering, should you buy this game? Now that's the end of round 1, so I'm assuming that in general domination's probably like 9 to 10 minutes long. But the answer in short is yes, but then again it always depends on the situation. Let's say you're someone who likes Call of Duty. You should get this game, because this game is a massive improvement among all other Call of Duty. It flows nicely, hit detection is great, the guns look good, the guns sound good, the maps are colorful for the first time. Everything is very, very pleasing about this game. Now even the menus and the navigations around the game just look nice. I'll throw a picture up there in the top right so you can see what they look like. Everything flows nicely. Class selection is very intuitive. It's very open. You don't have to go through a bunch of sub-menus to get to put on your attachments and your camos. Everything is right in front of you. So the game flows nicely. The game feels nice. Hit detection. Everything is great. And on that aspect, this game is definitely a success. Now, let's say you're someone who was put off by Black Ops when that came out because of how the game was paced and how slow it was. Or someone who was put off by Modern Warfare 3 for being far too fast. Or someone who's been put off at any point in the past of Call of Duty because of whatever reason. But I can report to you that this game has done and addressed basically every issue we had. Modern Warfare 3 was too fast, Black Ops was too slow, this game just in the middle. It's not a ridiculously fast game. You're not dying and getting spawned behind constantly. Unless you're playing a team deathmatch and not watching yourself and you find yourself caught in the enemy spawn, but that's acceptable. You aren't constantly being blown up from behind, knifed from ridiculous ranges. Oh, look at me fail right there. Anyway. You aren't constantly being, having all this bullcrap come and thrown at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And on top of that, it's not like you're getting into an engagement once every 10 seconds, or once every 30 seconds, rather. Not 10, 10 is kind of quick. Or once every minute. You find people all the time. The maps, even the big maps, you find people. Because they're set up in such a way where there's always someone around. Not necessarily behind you, but I think that original Treyarch 3-second rule is in effect. Which essentially means if you spawn in, you will have at least 3 to 5 seconds of life, if not more, before you run into an enemy. Whereas the Modern Warfare 3 rule was, you will die. So, in that aspect, this game improves on all of the past Call of Duties, and I think it's definitely worth a shot if you've either taken a break from the series, or if you're just wondering because Modern Warfare 3 either didn't do it or Black Ops didn't do it, and if you trust Treyarch or Infinity Ward. But the game is great in that aspect. Now, in order to address the people who may, I don't know, be into first-person shooters and just be like, well, Call of Duty isn't really my game. Well, this game actually is quite a bit different from most of the Call of Duties in the fact that it's no longer based around perks. And there's no longer that big of a benefit for having played longer and not prestiging. I would not prestige in the old games because getting pro perks is something I didn't enjoy doing. But pro perks are gone. There are no pro perks. When you use a perk, that is the ability you get. You can choose to unlock the perks. I mean, obviously you have to have the correct level, or you can choose to leave them behind. You don't have to pick them if you don't want them. And on top of that, you don't have to use them a lot to get the pro variation. And the pro variation, because it doesn't exist, doesn't make any perk overpowered. For instance, everyone knows Assassin. That was very, very not fun in the pro variation, because not only would you become invisible to, not only would you be invisible to radar, but you'd also be invisible to all these other things that sort of made it less enjoyable. But now, basically it's simple. If you want to be off radar, you have to use the right perk and you have to continue to move. If you stop moving, radar will pick you up and people can find you. And that basically means that the ghost perk is a rush perk. So the game is fairly different in a lot of aspects. I can't cover all of them in this video, but in short, this game is an awesome improvement, and I really enjoy it, and I would suggest it a lot. So if you like this video, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next commentary. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in my next video. I got tons of great content coming out, and stay tuned.
Of course we're shit. The game just came out, you stupid fuck.